So this is Paul from Model Builder International, and we have this time a new kit from Modelcollect, a 1/72 Russian BMP3, and there's the kit number UA72004. So, pretty sturdy box, a bit bigger than you'd normally see for a 1/72. You can gauge it from my hands on there. So it feels pretty solid. It's not an empty box in any way. So let's just have a look, see what we get inside. So inside we have one bag, two smaller bags, one with a couple of small pea frets, one with decals, and if I can get it out, one set of instructions. Instructions are on thick glossy paper and they're concertinaed, so there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pages of building with, so let's see, how many steps is there? 15 steps, 2 paint schemes, and the call-outs are for ammo paint. And I notice when ammo do the colour schemes, you can also see there's shading on here, like there's weathering. It's not just one solid colour. It's a bit like it's even the images here are sort of weathered. Yes, I notice. Right, let's have a look. Brief introduction, and I noticed they're calling it a BMP3E. Now I know that there was no such thing as a 3E. And I know Trumpeter did the same thing as well. On their 1/32 scale, they had a BMP3E. I kind of think it's probably the 3M that's just got sort of lost in translation from Russian to Chinese to English. So that's what I'll kind of assume. And the fact that I checked out some of the turrets, and the difference between this BMP3 and the others that Modelcollect do is in the turret, which also sort of substantiates it's probably the 3M that we see here. Although I'm not an expert, so I could be wrong, and feel free to correct me. So, instructions, as you can see, they look pretty clear. The tracks are link and length. Lots of parts for a 1/72 scale model. And I think that's a trend with Modelcollect is basically think 1/32, think a 1/35 scale model and scale down to a 1/72, and that's pretty much what you're going to be looking at. What do we get? We've got obviously a full turret. The turret is built over 3 steps. We've got an interior to the turret. Hull goes on, more hull parts, wheels, link and length tracks, building up the hull. There's also obviously a partial interior to the hull as well. So there's quite a lot of detail interior and exterior. So I'll open the bag and we'll have a close look at some parts. Like that, I don't need a knife. This is a resealable bag, which is nice. Okay, let's make a bit of space. Well, there's a seat that's come off the sprue. 2 sprues of tracks. 2 more identical sprues. Mostly turrets, mostly hull, mostly hull. So in total, 3 big sprues and 2 track sprues, 2 looks like running gear sprues, and another small sprue. And let's have a quick look, see at some of these, see what we can see. Tracks they're pretty good for this scale. Same with the running gear. I'm still not too sure where this extra, here's where that seat has come from. There's the turret. Nice detail there. I will stick closer image of these up. I'll go through the instructions and have a closer look at the parts as we go. as we go through the instructions after this. There's nice detail on all of these. Attachment points are pretty small. They vary in size depending what's attached, but they all seem to be on the edges of things. I don't see obvious places where you're going to have too many issues with things. Shovels and things engraved in there. So let's have a look at the photo edge. Oh, there's actually 3 small photo edge sheets in here. We've all got a plastic covering sheet on them. You can see that. There's also that one as well. They've got plastic sheets covering them, so that's good. And the decal sheet, which looks nice. Looks like there's more decals here than you would need actually, but it's got a bit of a tight fit in this, getting out this bag. There we go. So it looks like here there's, you can make up any sorts of numbers that you want here. There's numbers 0 through 9, there's 2 sets of those. There's numbers 140, 912, 111, 203, there's an Arabic set of numbers. So there's lots of numbers on there you can make up. So even though they've given you only 2 colour schemes, it looks like you can actually do a lot more with it than that. So, first impressions there, it's a lot of kit for a 1/72 kit. You'll be putting on quite a few pieces. Does it say how many pieces there are? No, it doesn't. I shall have to count them and see how many pieces there are in this, because there's going to be more than a usual 1/72 kit. So let's go have a closer look at the instructions and a closer look at the parts for each section as we go through. Okay, so let's go through the instructions and have a look at some of the parts close up. So step 1 is starting to put together the turret, basically the port side of the turret. There's some PE involved in here, some small parts as well. Move on to steps 2 and 3, and we're still putting the turret together, making quite a detailed turret. It looks like lots of small parts, lots of photo etch going into here. Before we drop down onto step 4, which is the internal parts, which nobody's going to see unless you leave the back doors open. Even if you leave the turret hatches open, there's not much that's going to be visible down here. But it's nice that they've included it, and there's some nice detail down there as well. Move on to step 5 and we start to build the hull. This is 3 steps on this page, building up the hull. I start on the left hand side again, putting together pieces. You've got choices for plastic parts or PE for the mudguards. Come down again, more photo etch. There's a lot of fine photo etch going on to the top of the hull here, so it's going to look really nice when it's all put together. Then we move on to a different place. Start putting the wheels together and the drive gear, and attach those to the hull sides before we use link and length tracks, which should work quite nicely in this scale. I kind of like the link and length tracks, especially in this scale. Over the page, step 11, we're starting to put together a basic interior really. Before we add simple seats, and step 13 is adding some more internal details. Step 14, you're at the back of the lower hull. You can add the doors. Looks like the doors, you might be able to fit those open so people can see inside. And looking back at step 5, we might be able to leave hatches open there as well, actually, to see the interior detail. And then finally, step 15, bring it all together and basically put the 4 main parts together. I like the lower hull is separate until the very end. You can work on the tracks and there's nothing in the way right up to the very end. So all in all, it's a very detailed kit. There's over 200 parts of plastic, roughly 50 parts of photo etch. It's got as many parts as a lot of 1/35th scale kits. If you like the idea of 1/35th scale kits but don't like the size of them, then these are the kits for you. Be interested to build this and see how it all goes together. Many thanks to Modelcollect for the review sample. Hope you like the video.